Happy New Year, subscribers. Today we're going to talk about bumperettes on your Holden 50 Ute or your FJ commercial. You're with Jules Knight on Jive Talking Garage. So one of the really interesting accessories you could get for a ute or a panel van in the 48 and FJ series is the bumperettes. And there's probably about 3 different configurations that I've seen. And it actually took me a while to actually understand that these were a thing and they just weren't an add-on. So firstly, you get a tubular bumper bar that went the whole length around the back of the FJ and around the corners. And they were just a chrome covered pipe, and they were attached to the bumper stoppers. But as far as the bumperettes were concerned, you could get the military bumperettes, which were just the bracket that was attached from the hinge, came around where the taillight is on the driver's side, and the same shape on the passenger side, and bolted to where the rubber bumper stop would be removed and a nut and bolt put in there. And they were just a plain around the corner bumper that was cut from the front bumper and attached to the back. So that was the Army Ute military bumperette. Then you had the same version of that, but from a civilian perspective, they just had an overrider on it. Plain and simple. Either plain, and I like the plain actually, the plain Army Ute bumper, or the military. So that's the military style, and the civilian was add an overrider. But but the other one has a L shape at the bottom of it, and it has a metal bar that runs from one side of the L at the bottom to the other. And the purpose of that was, given it was a baker's van, it was, as far as the write-ups that I've seen from General Motors, it was so that the bottom tailgate could be left in the closed position, the top tailgate could be in the open position, and it was such that stock would be inside the cargo area of the panel van, for instance, and using that metal bar as a step, well, the baker could actually stand on the steel bar and reach into the cargo area and get stock out of the back. So that's the purpose of that metal bar. I quite like that configuration. It looks really smart. But let's have a look at some bumperettes. So looking at the back of my FJ, you can see we've got bumperette there and a bumperette over here. Now I've had these put away, gee whiz, since before COVID-19, I suppose. So I've been sitting on these for about, 5 years or so. But really, I had a little bit of a dilemma because they actually bolt into to where the bumper stopper is here. But on my driver's side, it has a bit of work to be done there because the actual bumperette itself has been bent out of the way. So David Johnson and I did some work on that before Christmas, and that's a work in progress, my apologies. So now these are the military style. So it involves a bracket that gets bolted to the hinges of the lower tailgate, and also another bolt to the where the rubber stay is popped out. Now that bracket in there is solid, so it's decent sized steel. Now because my car's a bit ratty, I've made these a little ratty so it sort of fits to suit. So you can see that it's big steel. It's a big steel bracket, and then attached to that are the corners of a front bumper bar, such that, you know, it really does look the part. And what I've also done is I have attached one of the genuine reverse lights, because it was like, well, where am I going to attach it? And I thought, well, the best way to put it is to tap the steel and insert it on the steel of the bracket so that it actually is fastened sturdily. And then I've, you know, run a grommet through the back there and run the wire properly. But I've also got a few busy things happening there, which includes the exhaust extension. You know, I've got one of the other reflectors of the day, so that's situated in the middle of the car, and you know, the reflectors that are on there. But gee whiz, I got to say, it was a lot of work getting it ready for the Nationals, and you know, let's not sugarcoat it. It's not a show car. It's just a bit of a fuddy-duddy old car. It's a bit of a knockabout at the moment, but it's reliable and dependable. And it was a big job getting all of the things ready for it for the Nationals, which included going over to Russell Tronk and him helping me with the front right-hand coil just to get the car sitting nicely. But after all of this time and having the Bumperettes sitting on the shelf for a long period of time, you know, here they are on Project Julius, such that you know, it really just finishes it off. You know, I didn't want to have them curl further past here and then have the overrider on top of it. I wasn't real happy about that look, but I do have another bumper bar, so I could take it further out if I wanted to with the next replacement bumper bar I put on it. I could bring it to there, say, on both sides. But so you can have it to here, and then the overrider goes over it, or then it comes out as an L at right angles here, and then it has a piece of steel put in here as a reinforcement, and then that holds the L together, and then the steel, a piece of rectangular steel, goes from one side to the other. So from the L on this at the bottom to the L on this at the bottom, then you've got the steel. But we've got Jasper walking around. He's just checking out what Dad's doing. But that's what I've got on this car. What I had on my FJ Ute was the tubular bumper bar at the back, and Basil was kind enough to hook me up with that. And in actual fact, that was in the 1980s, and Basil hooked me up with these as well. So it's nice when you've got friends who help you with everything. But there you go, folks. That's a little bit about what we've been doing with the NASCO Bumperettes here at Jive Talking Garage. Don't forget to share, like and subscribe, but more importantly, enjoy your Holden.